So our next session is around post-training transfer, really important topic.
Thank you very much for attending this webinar session. My name is Agus Rahyuda, and I would like to try to present a review in the concept and post-training transfer intervention. This is actually a set of strategies that the employee usually use when they want to transfer their new training skills from the training classroom to the daily job. So it's considered as an important concept in the transfer of training area. This review is part of my PhD project at Kent Business School, which conducted together with my supervisor Jawad Said and Ibrahim Sultan. So a brief outline of this presentation. The first point, I would like to provide you a location of where the transfer of training is in the HRM field. And second, I would like to explain the concept of post-training transfer intervention, especially two widely investigated transfer interventions named relapse prevention and goal setting and their relationship with the transfer of training. Third, based on our review, I would like to explain you about the critical limitation that hinder the development of the post-training transfer interventions. And in the last section, I would like to show you our recommendations, 5 recommendations to develop this area. Move on to the first section, where exactly the transfer of training is in the SRM field. So, as we know, there are 5 widely or 5 major practices in human resource, from resourcing to rewarding. And before we saw that a presentation about selection, which is in the resourcing. I'm focusing more in the training and development because they're playing an important role in developing human resource skills, which can be done by sending them to a training program, informal training program or formal training program. It is understood that training and development can develop human skills which can influence their individual performance and organizational performance. However, we argue that this path will be true if and only if they could transfer their new skills into their daily job, or the concept of transfer of training. Nowadays, this concept is very important in the training and development area. Previous studies reported that about only 40% of employees could transfer their new skills to the job. So, for example, if there is £1 million invested in the training program, so around 600,000 pounds will be in vain. This number stimulates some researchers to explore this area, and then let us reveal that there are 3 factors that can explain the variability in the transfer of training characteristics, training design and delivery, and work environment. Researchers suggested that we need only to focus on these 3 factors in order to understand the transfer of training level. However, it has been widely argued that understand these 3 factors alone is not enough. We need to understand what real training transfer strategies after the training finish that can be applied to the employee in order to provide them a real effect on their transferability. Unfortunately, this green area is under-investigated in the training and development area. So, in this section where our review project focused on about the relationship between PTTI, if I can say, and transfer of training, it is defined as a set of specific guidance and strategies after the training finish in order to facilitate positive training. I'm specifically focusing on 2 widely investigated transfer interventions named relapse prevention and goal settings. Let us see the relapse prevention first. Relapse prevention actually a strategy that has been applied in the medical context. Thanks to Mark, who introduced this concept to the training and development context. He argued that if trainees could understand their potential threats, for example, lack of supervisor support, lack of facilities, probably time pressure, and after that, if they could overcome, if they could develop strategies to overcome their potential threats, as what drug addicts do in the medical context, then probably they will be ready to transfer their training skills. In this area, we reviewed 13 empirical studies from 1986 to 2007, and this literature can be categorized into two categories. The first one is about telling about the full relapse prevention model, a strategy that proposed exactly by Mark, 7 step-by-step procedure, and the second category consists of some researchers that modify this full RP model into a more simple model, simple procedures. We found some limitation within this literature. However, I will go to that limitation after I explain the second intervention, which is called goal setting. In this goal setting intervention, defined as an intervention that asks trainees to set a specific and challenging goals to help them in utilizing and retaining the new training skill. So it is argued that if trainees can set goals, short-term goals or long-term goals related to their training skills, then they can get a clear direction about what to do with their new training skills, and they will feel motivated. And finally, they will use or apply their training skills to the job. We reviewed 16 empirical research from 1986 to 2009, and it can be divided into 6 types of goal setting. There are assigned goal setting, participative, learning performance, distal or long-term goal, and proximal post-distal, which is a combination between short-term goals and a long-term goal. So we review about 2 transfer interventions in the transfer of training area, and still our review found some critical limitation in the literature. We divided the issues into 2, theoretical and methodological issues. First of all, about the theoretical issues is the inconclusive result within the RP literature. So as I have said before, that there are 2 models in the RP, full RP and modified RP, which led to mixed result and showed by inconsistencies. Some research said that there is a significant effect. Another research said the modified RP model is insignificant to help the trainee transfer their training. Some results shows the partial result. So these inconclusive findings have like 2 effects. So first, organizations probably will decrease their confidence in using or believing that RP is a valid intervention to help the trainees transfer the training. And the second effect is probably there is a mistrust between the researchers and practitioners. And the second is a lack of clarity concerning which goal enhance positive transfer. As we have reviewed that there are many types of goal setting, 6, and then this provide a confusion for the trainees because they probably overwhelmed with the various of goal setting, with the respective pros and cons, and finally they don't use that theory or they don't use that strategy, and goes back to their own feeling that okay, just do my best of my goal setting, just do my best of this training skills and forget about that goal setting because it's too many, I'm overwhelmed. Probably the limitation. So the third is few attempts, few research.